if you live in Tunbridge. Details of an ambitious regeneration plan announced by the council and Sainsbury's earlier this year are on display at Tunbridge Castle for the first time. The supermarket giant wants to build a new flagship store in the town centre, part of which is going to be on the site of Bealls department store, which is closing. Many traders in the town welcome the changes. Here's local butcher Ian Chatfield.
I don't think there is a downside to it. I think that the parking, there is quite a bit of parking in Tunbridge. There are rumours that there might be a multi-storey come to Tunbridge. I think it's only pluses to it. If the supermarket was out on an industrial estate or out of town, which lots of supermarkets are, it would be detrimental to the high street. Being reasonably close, I think only good things can come from this.
Well, joining us now from a radio car in Tunbridge is the leader of the council, Nicholas Heslop, and we're also joined on the line by Howard Porter from Paths, otherwise known as Pedestrian Action for Tunbridge High Street. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, John.
Nicholas, if I could start with you. Obviously, most people are welcoming this development, but I'm just thinking if I worked for Bealls store and I was losing my job, I might not be so keen.
Good morning. Well, actually, I'm in the Sainsbury's car park this morning. I can see the petrol filling station, so if you know Tunbridge at all, you'll know where I am. The relationship that Sainsbury's and Bealls has is a commercial one, and their future would be irrespective of whether the scheme went
So are
ahead.
you saying that Bealls would have closed anyway?
Well, yeah, the relationship between Bealls and Sainsbury's is one that's existed for many years, and whether the scheme goes ahead or not, the future of Bealls will be determined by the scheme. I think what's important is that we're bringing new shops to enhance the town centre, we're bringing new jobs. I've got every sympathy with those people who are employed by Bealls at the moment. I hope there's an opportunity for them within the new scheme, with one of the new 5 retailers that we hope to be attracting to the town centre.
Well, you'll say there'll be new shops, but effectively there is already a Sainsbury's there, for people who don't know Tunbridge, where you're standing near, and that's just going to be made bigger, isn't it?
The Sainsbury's is going to be made bigger, yes, that's absolutely correct, but we're also bringing 120,000 square foot of additional retail. This is a key feature of the proposals, is to increase the retail opportunities within the town. The prospect of 5 new high street retailers, we haven't got those in the town at the moment. The high street is a frustration for the big name brands because of the shop units, the size of them, and also the access arrangements are very poor. And the frustration that people have is that there's a limited shopping opportunity in Tunbridge. That's why they go to Tunbridge Wells, that's why they go to Blue Water.
So let me just ask you this.
Stay in Tunbridge and shop in Tunbridge.
Yes, of course. Those 5 shops you're talking about, we're talking about quite big units, are we? Are you looking to attract some of the big high street names to those?
Well, that's for Sainsbury's to determine, because
you'd like to see that, would you?
Absolutely, John. I want to see I can't name names because at the moment those
nearly did then, didn't it?
Well, I'd be like to, let's say Next, or let's say Debenhams. That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? I mean, those are the sorts of high street retailers that I hear people want to see coming into Tunbridge, and if that happens, that'd be absolutely fantastic.
And what's happening to the Angel Centre? Because that's on the other side of Sainsbury's,
yeah,
isn't it?
The Angel Centre is going to be really relocating the leisure and community facilities across to the Bradford Street car park. There's going to be multi-purpose sports hall, a gym, fitness studio, changing rooms, community space. We've got new facilities for Age UK. They're absolutely delighted with what we're providing with them. I think that's absolutely important that we help the old folk in the town with helping Age UK.
Stay with us, Nicholas, because we've also got on the line here Howard Porter, a campaign for Paths, otherwise known as Pedestrian Action for Tunbridge High Street. And Howard, just to set the scene, what you really want is Tunbridge High Street pedestrianised, isn't it?
Good morning, John.
Morning.
That's one of the things we'd like to see. We think that the High Street, because of the particular layout, the urban plan, if you like, of Tunbridge, we think the High Street is like the main artery, and whatever you do around it, that's not going to change. It will still be the main artery. The danger is that at the moment, that artery is clogged up with traffic, it's clogged up with pollution, and this scheme won't address that.
It won't, but does it make it less likely in the future? It doesn't really affect plan. If later a council decided to pedestrianise Tunbridge High Street, this scheme won't affect that, will it?
Not necessarily, but I think if we're going to address this long term, we need to have long-term planning. For instance, the local authority, KCC and Tunbridge McMorning Borough Council, about a year ago, they abandoned an idea to divert traffic around the central area by building a short link road between Shibburn Road but London Road. Now, they abandoned that just before the plans for this scheme were first announced.
Did you smell a rat?
No, I'm not saying any sort of conspiracy. Well, I do think it's rather irresponsible to abandon that at a time when a scheme like this is going to be introduced, which will draw more traffic into the town and make the need for that diversion even more acute.
I'll get a response from Nicholas from that in a moment, but just tell me what you feel about, forgetting the pedestrianisation for a minute, what do you think about this Sainsbury's scheme?
I think the idea of concentrating retail in the centre of the town and drawing people into the centre of the town is a good idea. In fact, at the preview of the scheme last night, I was talking to Nicholas about this, and
it's true, isn't it? Because so many of these supermarkets build out of town, taking people out, and at least Sainsbury's are committed to the centre of Tunbridge.
That is a very, very big positive, and we fully support that. Whether or not having a massive new supermarket in the centre of the town is going to be good for the overall economy is another matter.
Well, most of the shopkeepers we spoke to, the butcher in particular, Ian Chatfield, said he was pleased. He thought it would bring more people into the town, more people into his shop.
Well, it might do, but it might not.
Well,
I mean, there's a thing called the local multiplier effect, whereby if people shop locally, 80% of the money they spend stays in the locality, whereas if they use supermarkets, only 20% stays in the locality. Okay. So the economics need to be really looked at. I'm not saying that we don't welcome Sainsbury's and the other retail. It's got to be a part of a mix. And unless they actually build into this support to help the local independents, I think we really could be in trouble.
Okay, let me put that to Nicholas Hislop. What can you do for local independence in Tunbridge, Nicholas?
Well, I think the whole point of this scheme, which is to increase the footfall on the high street, is aimed at helping and encouraging and attracting the independents to come onto the high street.
And any thoughts on pedestrianisation?
Just to deal with that one, because I think actually what Ian Chatfield has done is super. He's put commitment, investment into the town. He's got a super butchers there, an independent butchers there, and he's thriving. And many congratulations to Ian.
Our radio car's fallen down a hole. It always come out of the hole, thank God.
Good. So it's probably me.
Yeah, don't worry. Let me ask you, we're running out of time, Nicholas. Let me ask you briefly about pedestrianisation. Is that on the cards at all?
Pedestrianisation is not on the cards. Tunbridge High Street is a key route, and it's very difficult to see how traffic could be removed without the creation of significant congestion at other points around the town.
Okay.
And actually what we're doing, John, just very briefly, what Kent County Council is doing is looking at a series of modest interventions to address traffic management. Actually, it's about increasing improving the junctions, the signalling, the signing. I think those sorts of modest improvements would help the high street and release the clogs that we see at either end of the high street.
Nicholas, thank you. Nicholas Hislop is the leader of Tunbridge Morning Council. We also heard from Harold Porter from Paths. We could have a whole discussion on the traffic management of Tunbridge. That is probably for another day, but you can see that exhibition at Tunbridge Castle. And at 8:20 this morning, we were talking to a Tunbridge butcher who we heard from there, who welcomes the plans. And just to recap, that exhibition is at Tunbridge Castle today between 10 and 8 p.m. and tomorrow between 10 and 4 p.m.